Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me and thank you so much for choosing to spend your time with me and watch this video. Today we will start working on a junk journal. It was suggested to me by some of you that I should create one of those. So this will be my first one, so we'll see how it's gonna come out. I'm hoping to have a lot of fun together with you, and I did start up actually creating junk journal. So, it seemed like this one, it's going pretty good. So I will start new one together with you. And I understand that this is junk journal, so we can use anything and everything that we possibly have. But for the base, for the journal itself, I will use cardstock. This is 8.5 by 11. And I chose this one because we will be using craft paper. So I will use some of that. You don't have to. You will see where we're gonna use this one. So you could use something else. And to create our junk journal for the pages itself, I will use this paper pad. I'm sure you can get it anywhere. I think I bought this one at Michael's. And we will also use craft paper. This one I purchased from Michael's. It's just a little bit thicker. It almost reminds me to this paper pad collection, the thickness of it. So we will start with craft paper. And this one is 24.5 inches wide. And I found this one right on a shelf where they sell paper collections. So we will create pages out of this. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna measure 8 inches. And I will just fold this over on my 8-inch mark. Just like that. And I will just cut this with my knife. Okay. And I will need 2 of these. Okay, I was editing the video and I realized that I lost one of the clips. We briefly lost power and I didn't realize that one portion did not record. So I will show you the part that was missing. So this is the second sheet that I cut from the craft paper. So what I did, I actually cut that sheet into two pieces, 12-inch long. So that's 1 and 2. And since this is the second strip, you should end up with total of 4 of them. So I did fold it in half. Just like that, all 4 pieces. And as you can see, they are trying to bend back into the roll, the way it was rolled up. So what I did, I actually ironed those sheets. So after I ironed them, they became nice and flat, as you see on a video when we are actually putting all those pages together. So this is the clip that I lost. Now we can move forward. And from our paper collection, I will use these sheets. So we need to make pages out of those. So we will cut down those sheets into 8 inches. Okay, and we will keep these cutout pieces, leftover pieces, we will keep them for decoration of the pages. So with the sheets we cut, we will bend them. So we will score them in half. I could use scoring board, but this is easy enough. Okay. So here are our pages, and here is the craft paper. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take craft paper and put our page, color page on the inside. Craft paper and color page on the inside. And then craft paper, color page, and craft paper. So you can create as many pages as you like, and this is how this gonna look like. And you know, I'm gonna remove the craft paper from the inside, and this one will have 2, 4, 6, total of 12 pages. If you want more, you can just keep on nesting them and you will have thicker junk journal. So now let's make sure that everything is, all the pages are all the way on the back. And I will remove the middle one. And I will measure right by the score 2.5 inches, and I'm gonna put a little mark right on that score, and I'm gonna put it mark at 1 inch. So basically the spacing in between those 2 dots is 1 inch. So I'm gonna do the same thing on the opposite side, 2.5 inches, and right here at 1.5 to make that spacing also 1 inch. So those marks are our binding marks. So when we put all those pages together, now we know where we need to bind them. But before we bind them, I will use 1 page of this cardstock. And I also need to pre-cut this cardstock because we will use that to cover the binding. So I need to pre-cut this to, I'm gonna do 2.5 inches. And the height we need 8 inches, just the same as the pages. So now I will score this piece right in half. So 2.5, we need 1.25 inches. Score will be at 1.25 inches. And that should be enough. So now let's fold this. And we're gonna put it just like that. Now the reason why I'm doing this, I want this binding to hold on to something that is just a little bit stronger. This is the reason why I did this. But also we're going to use this to create our cover later on. So now I'm going to take my tool. I will make sure that my pages are in a position. And now I'm gonna make the hole right where the mark is. So I'm punching, but at the same time I'm trying to pick up that paper to create that hole. Okay, so I got 2. Let's close this. Let's align it to make sure that nothing shifted. And we will do the same thing on this side. So we got 1. And here is the second one. Okay. So now we will bind this book. I did order some binding thread, but it did not arrive yet. So I'm gonna have to improvise. So I will use just sewing thread. And I will use this as a binding thread. So we did not make the hole on that little piece. So let me just poke this through again. Okay. And now we can bind this. I'm going from the outside because I want on the inside to look nice. This one just came off almost. Okay, here it is. And I'm gonna try to tie this as much as I can. Okay, and one is done. And now we're gonna work on this one. Okay, so we do the same thing. We're gonna start from outside, of course. Okay, so our binding is done. And on the cover, we will work last. Now, when you look at this, you can see it that the pages are not even. That's because they are really nested on the inside. Also, many of you asked me what I'm using to cut my chipboard. So I will show you right now. I have this that it's absolutely great to cut the chipboard. So now we're gonna trim the edges. So I will position at 6 inches and trim it. Okay, so now we have really nice book. And we can start decorating. So to decorate the first page, I'm going to use this paper. And I will use this one. I do have a die cut of little envelope that I already made. So I will use this one to put it right here. But I will show you how you can make this if you don't have a die cut. And it's not going to be exactly the same, but it will be close enough. So I will take just different paper just to show you. So the dimension will be 5 inches. That's the height. And this is approximately 3 3/4. Okay. So now we can score this. And I am going by the dimensions that I have on this one. Okay, so we will score at 2 inches and 4 inches. And then on one side, we're gonna score 1/2 inch, turn around, and 1/2 inch. So now when we bend all our folds, you can see that this is almost becoming like a little envelope. So now this will be the flap. So what we will do, and I can use scissors for that, we're gonna make a little angle to the corner, and then we're gonna cut straight down, just like that. And we do that on both sides. So if this is the flap, this will be the bottom. And you can see it right here. See, it's getting similar shape. So we will cut in here on this score, straight down. And little angle. Same thing on this side, straight down to the score and little angle. Now this one has little scallop edge. You can see a little design. You could do that if you want, or you can just round it up with your scissors and just make it nice round closure. Just like that. So this envelope has little cutout. You can also do that to make it easier. Maybe you want to mark, position this on something, mark the halfway, just like that, where you want to cut it, and make it little cutout to give you different type of look. Just like that, so it's not as plain. And you have your little envelope. But I will use this one. So I will just apply a little bit of glue right here. On both sides. Let me close this. Just like that. And I will position it in here. And as you can see, even the die cut is not perfect because this one, it's not closing as nicely as I would like. So I will just trim this just a tiny bit. Okay, much better. So now I will apply the glue only on 3 sides. And apply it right here on the angle. Because this way we created little pocket on the back. So you can see you can always tuck something in on the inside. So we got our little envelope, and we will make little pocket on the bottom. So the pocket on the bottom, we know that this is, well, we cut this down a little bit, so it's 5 3/4 now. So I will make it small pocket, and I will cut the paper to 6 1/2. And I'm gonna make the pocket approximately 2 3/4. So now we will score this, and we will score only on 3 sides. We will score at 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, and 1/2 inch. So let me fold this over. And you could make a simple pocket without these folds, but I think when you make the folds, you can just fit a few more things and a little bit thicker things inside the pocket. So now we miter the corners, and I cut it straight across, right going through that corner. And I will just make it a little angle on the edges. And that will be our pocket. Now, I want to create a little bit of a design in here. So what I'm gonna use, I do have this, and I will make a little border. Let me see if that's enough, a little bit more. Okay, and I want to make that border right here, kind of peeking from the inside. So let me just mark this, and I'm gonna cut this right here and right here. All right, that will be my little border, and I'm gonna place it on the inside, just like that. So to make it look prettier, I'm just gonna angle the corners. And apply it right here. So let me put the glue.
Okay. So now we can place our pocket right here, and as you can see, it gives you really, really nice decoration. Alright.
Let's make sure this adheres. Okay. All right. So now over here in the previous one that I was making, I made an additional pocket right here. And I think that's what we're gonna do. So that's why I mentioned to you that we should keep the leftover paper from the pages, because this way we can coordinate everything. So I am gonna I think that's enough. And now we will position this in here, a little pocket to tuck something in. Now this one, we will just cut it straight down. And I don't want this one to be too large, too deep. So okay, let's see how big of a packet I want. I'm gonna cut this off right here. Let me position it straight. Okay, and I will place this right here. So I'm putting glue this time only on 3 sides. Just a tiny strip of glue. Just like that. Okay, one page is done, and we will work on the second page. So for the second page, I will use this paper. Okay, so we're gonna cut this paper to 3.5-inch strips, and we're gonna need 2 of them. For the height, I think I want the butterflies here. For the height, we will do 7 3/4. I will also use this paper. This is leftover paper that I have. Let me trim this. So this one, for the height, we need 7 3/4. The width will be 5.5. And from leftover paper that I have, which I will use, and this one is about 1.5 inches, I will cut piece. And you know, maybe I won't use this one. No, I need to use this one. So we're gonna cut it to 5.5, just the way this one is. 5.5. And this one, I think it's a little bit too long. I'm gonna cut this down to 2.5. And 5.5. And now we will score. So these short pieces we will score at 1/2 inch. So that's 1 and 2. We will fold that. And now I am gonna angle from, actually what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna angle from this score to the end, just a small angle on both sides, and try to make them pretty even so they look the same on both sides. And I'm gonna do the same thing on this one, just a little angle and little angle on this side, again trying to make this even on both sides. So now what we're gonna do, we will glue this onto this piece. We will glue it just like that. But I'm gonna put this taller piece on the bottom. So you know, for this project you can use your leftover pieces that you have. I'm sure we all have plenty of them. Okay, and we do the same thing on the opposite side. So I'm applying glue on that 1/2 inch. And I will put this right on the top of it all the way to the score. Just like that. And now those pieces, those will be the sides. So we will also score it at 1/2 inch. So I think I want to position them like this. So it's going to be 1/2 inch, and on this side, upside down, 1/2 inch. So let's fold and burnish. Okay. And we will apply these right here. See, just like this. We're gonna glue them. Okay. All the way to the score, and match up the top and the bottom to make sure that they are nice and even. And as you can see, we are creating this opening right here. And we do the same thing to this side. So let's just align it. We apply the glue. And this is our page. So now we can glue it right here. Now I am gonna glue only 3 sides, but as you can see, I'm applying a little bit more glue. because I want this to really hold. And I apply the glue to the wrong side. I don't want to apply glue here. I don't want to apply the glue in here. I want to leave this open, but you know, I guess it's too late. We're gonna glue this whole thing. But you could leave this side open and have additional pocket. But maybe we do this on different page. So now let's make sure this adheres. Okay. And now you have your little place to store your additional things. And we will make the closure. To make the closure, I will use small brads. And I will use some leftover paper that I have, and I got sheet of this little shiny. Now I don't have round hole punch. I do have some hearts, so that's what I'm gonna use. So that's 1 and 2. And then I'm gonna use smaller one with green. Okay. So I will glue the hearts just like that. Okay. All right. And I will apply them like this. So let me make the hole for the brad. Okay. And let's see. I will position them on the angle. I think this is going to give just a little bit more interest. So I will do it here. I am going to apply just a little bit of glue. All right. Okay. So one is done. And this one probably somewhere here. I'm just going to mark this. a little bit glue to kind of hold this together. Okay. All right. And now I don't have a twine. Again, I'm gonna use what I have. I have twine somewhere, but I reorganized my studio. And now I can't find it. So let me tie this. Okay. Trim this off. All right. And here will be our closure. Okay. So as you can see, our first page is done. This might be a little bit too long, but that's okay. Now we have to cover this. We need to decorate with something. And I think we're gonna use the same sheet as we had on the front. So this one, I don't want too much white to be showing up. So I am gonna cut this to 2 7/8. I think I need to use full sheet. And now the height. I'm gonna do 7 5/8. And again, that's approximately. It depends if you want to see some of that white or not. Okay, I think that's perfect. All right, I'm going to squish it from this side because I want to go all around that bread. Okay. And this one. Okay, and I will do the same thing. I'm going to squish it from this side so I can go around that bread all around. Okay. So as you can see, the inside is all finished. We can do some other things, but maybe later on. We can create some more packets, and I think I'm gonna cut this off. This is, I think, a little long. All right, I hope you like so far what you see, and we will move on to the next page.